hear me yet? There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Ooh. How's it going, everybody? Oh. What's up? What's up, Gomu? How are y'all on this fine, incredible Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. How'd y'all trade today? Decent day overall. Average day. I missed a lot of the good plays today. Evening. Welcome. I will say we've had no follow through on any move in a while. Early morning in like a week. Looking at Tesla early in the morning. Trying to remember what trade I got. Ah, yeah. This is one thing I wanted to do. Before I get going, just going to draw something here. Hang on. Sorry. Get my phone. I've had a question. Just looking at some stuff this morning, doing some reviews. So, giving people a few minutes to get in. Let me throw it in the WhatsApp. Hey, Dyer, what's going on? Should post a live. Sorry, I've been absent for a while, guys. Really busy week this last week. I'm looking forward to getting back into it, posting more. How did y'all trade today? I was on the phone when the positive Ukraine news came out, or market news, what's up? And I missed the move and then didn't play into it. Kind of just let it go. So instead of having like a, what could have been a really nice day, it was just kind of like an average day, which was fine. I don't mind. I've been so busy. I'm really looking forward to having this house sold and the new house purchased and get past this stage. Very green. Nice. Very nice. Love seeing people making money and love seeing that people are green and doing well. You probably would have. I was busy in the middle of the day. Made it very difficult. Yeah, this A plus trigger down here. Might have been A, like into this candle. Are you talking about that 82.40 break? When it barely broke it and then ripped up. Yeah. I actually don't remember if I was short or long there, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know that I played that. I think I might have, and I sold. That's what I'm going to talk about in a second, is some of the things that I've been changing. And that Kelly stuff and adjusting. Soon in the morning, as things get choppy and I don't get a breakout, all my 9 charts now, I just look at the 2 minute. It's like if I get a trend, I stay with the 1 minute. But early on, when something's happening, or early on, I just go straight to the 2-minute chart. And during the day, if I come back in the afternoon, everything's set at the 2-minute chart. So I'm not like tricked into doing something, and I'm looking at a larger time frame than a 1-minute chart. That's just a random. What up, Mr. Eddie? How's it going? So let's kick this. Let's kick this off. Let's get it started. A few people are on, so we'll kick this off. We'll go. So normal housekeeping things. I'll try to do a show tomorrow night, and then Friday night we'll get back to the. It has been pretty fun. We'll get back to the show. We'll get back to the Friday night show, I hope. I know CT's in Puerto Rico, so we'll see if he has time to do that. But either way, hopefully we'll have a show the rest of the week. I should be in town this week. I was going to Georgia. I'm not now. Not this week anyway. I will be going next week. Just been super busy, so trying to stay in the swing of things. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, talk about expectations, talk about growth, maybe talk about some trades and some stuff that I've kind of been looking at, and we'll see if it helps. So, let's get ready to navigate the market a little bit, guys. I'm Gator, and let's talk about the swamp. And I agree. I think it has been a fun market, but it's also been hard if you're aggressive. If you're patient, it's been a good market. I think we've had some good plays in the middle of the day. I think we've had kind of choppy early morning action, and then things get really good, like really solid for a little bit there, and things will pop. So I found it actually to be pretty good. Not as bad as last month so far. There's been a lot of opportunities, and I've kind of liked that. Yep, avoid low ATRs. I'm glad you started using ATRs, Eddie. That really helps. Like using these ATRs right here. Here's how I have them. Here's how I have them listed kind of on my screen, and I can kind of see them on my 4-chart layout. So I always know, and I just sort by highest ATR, because then Amazon, Google, and Tesla are always at the top. But I can kind of see other names that are moving. And I've started playing the Qs a little bit, and so learning what ATR moves there is pretty good. Yeah, it's been some nice chomping. Haven't done a lot of death rolls. I tell you guys, I have not been able to trade like I want, mainly just because of how busy I've been. And I've had to adjust expectations. And so part of growth mindset, part of growing and getting better at trading, I feel like this white kind of washes out with these lights shining on me. I just look like a saint or something. I'm not. Part of growth mindset, something I've been noticing and talking to some people, is when you're growing and when you're trying to get better at trading, when you're trying to adapt to trading, different strategies and different styles, first, it's important to say, I know in this room we're learning and we're growing and we're doing different things. The C strategies are still there, and I'll have some videos coming out talking about C strategies in the future. But the C strategies are still there. They're not going anywhere. They're great. They're amazing. Mark developed them. They work. They're just totally incredible. They are the foundation, in a sense, of what allows me to be a trader. They actually allow me to be a consistent, profitable trader. Because when all else fails, I can just sit there and wait for a trend and catch a C strategy. Like I understand how to do them at just a base rudimentary level. And if I was training someone to be a trader, honestly, the first thing I would do is train them to do like a know your limit 8 or a Mark 1 or a green takes red. And Kelly is the one that kind of turned Mark on to the green takes red in the 2-minute. But those are the three things, like or a 21, know your limit 21. Those are the things I would teach somebody how to see and spot, because they're so simple. You don't have to have all of this breadth of knowledge when it comes to the market and what the market is doing overall and the trends and all this stuff. It's like you can understand a simple concept that can give you confidence and that can make you believe that you can actually do this and that you can actually make money. And that is so important to have that confidence. So I by no means am not doing C strategies or not doing, or even trying to grow beyond them. The point is to add tools to your toolbox and to be able to do more things and to be able to see more things to more effectively take trades. Sorry, one of the kids are making noise. I could text my wife if they start crying. So it's not about one style being better than the other. Say, we say stuff like, oh, a lot of people are talking about some stuff that Kelly does. He was on the show last week. If you want to know, you can watch that show again. I've watched it a couple of times just to review some of the stuff that he said. And, you could do stuff like Geronimo does with ranges in the cues. You can do all this different kind of stuff. None of it is bad. It's all just strategies. And in order to actually grow and to actually get better, it's important to say that everything is different. And you're not right or wrong. And I've said this before, but you're not right or wrong for doing one over the other. You're not like, oh man, this guy's a bad trader, he doesn't do these. Or this guy doesn't do this, or this guy doesn't do this. It's about learning how we can best apply what we know and better use it. For instance, early in the morning, unless there's a Kelly strategy that I'm looking at, a green takes red or something with an expansion or contraction of the 200 and the 21 moving average on a 2-minute chart, I am mostly looking for C strategies. I'm looking for momentum and volume and violence in a name that is breaking out or breaking down through some trigger point and level where I can scalp 1-minute setups and 2-minute setups and all this kind of stuff. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm watching early. It doesn't mean I don't look at other things though. And as the day goes on, I progress to stopping C strategies because C strategies are basically done. In order for something to be a legitimate C strategy, it has to have actually triggered. And then once it triggers, if you don't get a chart reset, there is no more C strategy. It's just, it's just another 1-minute breakout or 2-minute breakout or 5-minute breakout. But if you learn to take other things in, and if you learn to look at your trades as they're happening, and you're learning to look at why this is working, why this is not working, and kind of watching some of these other things, you can start adding that to your repertoire to get a greater market idea and market picture as the day goes on. But it's difficult to do because you actually have to change how you look at a trade and how you enter a trade. It can't just be the same kind of bend strategy. It has to be like you have to have a plan and a strategy for what you're doing and what you're taking. It's not just jumping in and taking something and, oh, this is going to work, it's going to go to this level in the next 2 minutes. It's something that might take 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And so you need to be able to size and to trade accordingly and to be able to be relaxed in that trade. I'm very relaxed taking C strategies, even if I have a 2 or 3, like even if I'm trading a volatile name where I could lose a couple of grand. Sorry, one of my kids are not sleeping well tonight. So I have been working on changing my expectations in the middle of the day, and I've had to do it for multiple reasons. One, I just have a ton going on and I have to get off the mic a lot, and two, yes, that is correct, the J or J, two, and I just lost my train of thought. Two is you actually have to be able to, I can't even think where I'm going. I'm tired. I'm tired today, guys. Sorry. So I'll just go off what Jay says, and I'll come back because it'll come back in my head what I was thinking. When you're trading two different strategies, you have to know what you're looking for when you enter a trade. If I'm entering a trade because it's a C strategy, what I want to look for and what I'm looking for is just that scalp and that C strategy. It's not turning something into a Kelly strategy, a longer hold, a range play, a Fibonacci, like, okay, it's at this level, we had the green takes red, I'm letting this play out till it gets to this level. That's not what a C strategy is. Now, a C strategy might be part of that, but it can't be, you can't be trying to get a scalp and then it goes red and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to let this play out. You're just going to lose. You're just going to blow up. You're just going to add to a losing position, and that's not what we do. When you enter a trade and when you get a trade, you need to know why you're getting in it. You need to know what you're looking for. So I've been working on doing some Kelly strategy style stuff and some Geronimo style stuff. And I trade what Kelly does similar but a little bit different to him. If I see him call a name out, or somebody calls it out, I don't necessarily just go and jump in a position, because that's not how I'm going to make money. I'm going to lose. I'm going to get shaken out. I'm not going to have a good position. But what I do, and I'm going to use this as an example. This isn't a video. I'm not using this as an example. I'm going to use Tesla as an example to show you what one way I have been adapting and changing my expectations. So Tesla was hard. I didn't trade it a lot until this candle right. So I actually missed this candle. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's what I did today. Let me move my face out of the way. All right, y'all can see this. So here's what I did, and here's how I do this. I look at this. So I drew this, and I called this out in the room, but I drew this trend line in Tesla. This is a 2-minute chart. When Tesla came back down and hit this trend line and then bounced, I'm pretty sure I heard Kelly say he was in this one. And someone who monitors his stuff closer than me could do it. So you could have drawn a fib on this leg, and it went back down to the 32%. I might have drew that backwards. But either way, you had your green takes red take place right here. I'm pretty sure Kelly said he was in here. I was not. But I looked at it, and I noticed this line that I had drawn. And I was like, oh, wow, look how that hit perfectly. Like, you know, you had the bottom of this little here, so boom, it hit perfectly. I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to see if I can get another entry. I'm not chasing. I don't care if it goes through day highs without me. I'm going to look for when I can trade it. And it pulled back down, and it re-hit that trend line. And I was like, okay, so my stop, if I was Kelly, it would pretty much be VWAP or down here. I'm going to enter if it bounces off of this trend line. Like, okay, we're below this 2-minute candle. If it goes back up and gets back in the body of this green candle, I'm going to take the trade, small size, and I'm going to try to hold it. Reason being is if I would have followed what somebody else said, or a strategy that they said, after they said it, I would have been in up here in this green candle, in the middle of this candle. And then I might have felt good for a second if I was up here, who knows. And then, boom, now in Tesla, I'm 2-3 points down. 2 points down. Who knows what their options are depending on how they were moving at this point in the day. This is a $6 candle, so there's a good chance, you know, you could be 4 or 5 points down. Super hard to hold that, especially if you're taking size in something, expecting it to go through day highs and you make all this money. Target probably being the 200 or something. I don't know. So what I do and how I've been kind of adapting this and changing my expectation is I look at the trade and I try to see if I can see what they were looking at, or what they wanted, or what their stop would be, or something like that. For me, when this candle went back up into this green, I bought it. And I took very small size, and then I let it ride, because at no point in all of this did I get shaken out. And I sold somewhere in here. And at no point in all that did I get shaken out. I had a little bit of a pop. I could have sold, and I don't remember if I sold some into that or what I did. But then there's a little bit of movement around here, and you don't necessarily have to get shaken out. And then you could just hold that really small size. You get that green takes red, and there's your trade. And that's how I have been going back and looking at trades. And I did it in the Qs later in the day too. I'm going to record some of these and kind of look at them. So another random trend line thing here. Took that bounce, and there was good news that came out. Let's go. Let's see. See if I can find. I don't remember when I actually don't remember what time this was. I would have to go back on and do it. So I'm not gonna say which one it was, because I don't remember what the trade was. But it basically bounced around. Like, it was after somebody had called a short. Maybe it was Tesla. Sorry, give me a second to look. What was the trade? Was it a breakdown or breakout? It was the 2-minute 200. When the 2-minute 200 hit, and in this chart, for some reason, my 200 is here. That's my 50. Where's my 200? Well, that's simple. Give me a second. So I actually don't remember which trade I took. I'd have to go look at it, but I did the same thing in Tesla. I saw somebody else do saying that they were in it, and I just looked at the name and I was like, huh, I wonder what they see here. Well, I know where their stop's at, so let's see what it does. And I waited for it to pop up and get near where their stop was at, near that trend line. It retested that trend line or that moving average, and then I shorted it from that position at a better price instead of chasing it where, you know, they announced that they were in the trade at. That is one thing I've been doing to help myself find these trades, make these trades. And if I sit here throughout the day, my strategy in the morning of C strategy trades, which is the base of what I do, which is, you know, 80% of where my money is made and all that kind of stuff, my expectations are what the C strategies give me. But for instance, in Tesla this morning, you know, you didn't have a lot of really good and really easy plays here. It was all chop. And as soon as I kind of get all of this chop, and you don't get that follow through, like that A plus didn't trigger through and push you lower, and the market's like going up and Tesla's going down, I'm just like, all right, I'm done with C strategies until I get a direction. You know, unless it's a Mark 5 or it's a higher time frame trade, I'm done with them. Let's look at 2-minute charts and let's wait. I instantly switch to that. When I switch to that, I have to actually change my mindset for what I'm looking for. I can't be looking for the exact same thing as that I would be looking at when I am trying to catch a C strategy. I want to see something like this. I'm looking for trend lines. I'm looking for patterns, like something like this. And this is something I've recently started doing. Like when you see a clear higher low or something like that, and I'll draw it. Sometimes I'll, you know, it's not always, but like this was a pretty clear one to me, so I just drew it and I was like, I'm gonna long this next time it hits the it's on the 2-minute, and I draw it on the 2-minute. Next time it hits this, I'm gonna look for a long. And it's just something like that. And I take all the market conditions into effect. Or if it breaks this trend line and goes down, hey, maybe we go lower. That trend line happened to perfectly time up with VWAP when it hit. So I start looking for stuff like that. And when I say, hey, I'm not really trading right now, I'm just waiting for a setup, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm just sitting back and I'll go through my charts, and I've got my little whatever here, and I've got my 9 charts up, and I'll go through something and I'll be like, huh, I called this trade out in Google and it was hard to trade. I don't think I got it. Or I got it a little late and scalped just a little bit of it. But it's like I was looking at all my charts. I was just flipping through them. I was like, well, nothing's happening. Let's see. I don't like anything. Not many C strategy things working. I'm going to let some stuff play out. Okay, well, Google has failed the 2-minute 200 like twice. Here's the third time it hit it. All right, let's wait for it to break down. And the stochastics were set up perfect on this. I talked this trade through a little bit on the mic, and it was really hard to play. Like I think this was the original entry. You got shaken out or broke even. You could have got back in it, or you could have held it because it never actually, you know, the options didn't move too much in that time frame. But then it goes for you, and there's a couple points right there. And so I started looking for things like that. That's what I'm doing in the morning to adapt to this environment, to allow me not to bend and get aggressively red early. And then here was that big pop in the Qs that just blew up, and, you know, boom. And then this was the Ukraine news, and all the name started kind of going up. And, you know, I missed this and all the names because I was on the phone, and which was okay. There'll be more moves. But so early in the morning, when I get chopped up, when you're not getting the follow through in the C strategies that you want. Like I said, the C strategies are your base, or your foundation, or your kind of toxic free, hey, I don't have to do anything else other than C strategies to make a living. Like I could sit back and only trade C strategies and make a living. Here's the trick. I have to be able to manage my expectations even when doing that throughout the day. Or not throughout the day, throughout each day and throughout each week. Because if I'm going to do that, I can't always have the same expectation of them working to the same level. If you're in a choppy market, people blow up when they expect the C strategies to give them the amount of money and all this other stuff that they did during a trending market or during a trending day. when that's not how you're going to make your money on those days. And if you're okay with just being like, hey, it's just not the day to catch these easy moves that I usually catch and these C strategies, and I'm either going to wait for something to break out and I'm going to take that, or I'm just going to leave it alone. And if you can do that, then you don't have to do anything else. But part of growing and kind of building that house around your foundation of trading and learning to do other stuff as you're able and taking new stuff in as things make sense to you, it's like, I'm now a full-time trader. This is my job. I don't do anything else. So I do my trading. I trade my C strategies. Okay, now I need to change my mindset. I need to think, okay, now it's not about making money. Now I want to learn how to trade these range plays, and not just how to trade them. I want to learn how I trade them. This doesn't always happen, but do you know what happens? You know why we're so, you know what I noticed? You know why we're so like, dang, Kelly, you're awesome? One, all of his moves, when he calls them, like 90% of the time, he's right. But he holds through chop. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, he holds through chop. He's red on trades. So that means I can get in at a better price than him, if I'm not scared to miss the move. And if I just wait for this name to pop back up above his level a little bit and retest up there to where it would kind of shake people out, I can look for another entry along the play down to where he thinks it's going. Okay. Same thing with Geronimo's stuff when he's calling the Q ranges out. Okay. So he's holding through red. All right. I don't want to enter when he's entering or where he's entering. I'm going to wait. I'm glad you do. I'm not the only one. I just talk about it after I've like tested it for a while. So, okay, it pops back up. All right. It's near where his stop is. If it doesn't bust through his stop, I'm entering this short or long. Okay. I'm not taking big size. I'm not doing that. And then I'm taking a trade. And it's not about making money. It's about trading. It's about finding the trade. And that trade might not work as quickly as the entire strategy, but do you know what it'll do? It'll give me that, it'll allow me to grow and to trade. It will actually allow me to play it as a trade and not just chasing something to try to get to a level, because I'm watching it and I'm learning, how do I play this strategy really well? How can I make money in it? When these Q's plays are happening, when we're playing these ranges or these sell setups or these buy setups in the middle of the day or these breakouts, and they're not necessarily just a hard bull or bear trend, but instead it's a little bit of chop and bouncing around and then going, what do I need to do to make money doing that, or to make a good trade? What trade am I looking for here? What am I looking for? And that is what I do to have that growth mindset during the day. Because if I'm going to sit here all day, your C strategies are done. If I'm going to sit here, you're not going to get much. What can I do? You know, if you don't have something that's already working because you're just scalping something, what can I do? What can I look for? You know, I can sit down and I can find something like this Google. And the fourth time when this happened, it actually would have shorted here again too off the 200 if you didn't have that. I think that positive news was bullish, and then you also had the 8 EMA going over the 21 EMA, and that was definitely a, you know, you definitely go long here, not short, because this closed above it and then went back down, tested and went. But all that being said, you know, you can actually find stuff and you can start noticing trends, or you can go back and look at the morning and draw a trend line or two. You know, if it's midday and it's just chop, instead of trying to trade and make money, you can go back and look at your morning chart, and you could just look at Tesla and be like, well, is there something here I missed? Is there something I could have drawn like that's a legitimate trend line? And then maybe I'll check it with Gator or Geronimo or somebody else. You know, if I was looking at, you know, a name like NVIDIA, is there a legitimate, you know, trend line here that could have told me to get in, that would have been accurately drawn? Like, is that one? No, that didn't say anything. I don't know if this would be one. You know, would you do something like this, and then does that ever play out into something? You know, and I'm just throwing stuff on a chart here, but is there something I'm missing? Is there something I'm looking for? Is there something I could have done this morning? So then you can kind of learn, okay, well, maybe when I see this happen, I can do this. Okay, Kelly's always in something. I can't seem to make money. I get shaken out. He makes money. What would be a way to play this to find a good trade? What is the trade here? Do I just want to take the quick scalp? Do I actually want to learn to hold something? Because you don't have to learn to hold something, but do you want to learn to trade that way? And I hope what I'm saying is making sense and not just kind of discombobulated. Because I want to say there is nothing wrong with any different type of trading. But now that you have the foundation, if you want to, you can go in and you can start adding to that foundation and start building up on that foundation just a little at a time, a little at a time, a little at a time, a little at a time. And you keep doing that, it can add up to something else to where, you know what, it's a hard morning, or you're down 2 or 3K, or whatever number it is for you, and you're like, man, I'm not getting, you know what? I don't have to try to bend into these trades to make money. You know what I can do? I can sit back, and now I know how to do what Kelly's looking at or Geronimo's looking at, and you know what I can do? I'm going to wait for those setups to come, because I've now, over the last 2 months of practicing these and trading these and getting good at these, I know I can make money doing them, or I can make good trades doing them, so I'm just going to wait. Okay, these setups are starting to come. Okay, we have like a retest of a moving average of a 21. Okay, I can see this happening on this chart. You can start watching the patterns develop through the day, or you can play around on your phone or something else, or watch other YouTube videos, and you actually and then you actually learn to see them develop throughout the day. And Jay, I don't know that it's yes, I would say that Kelly's plays perform better in the chop than C strategies. Not necessarily, it just depends. If it's choppy, you're not getting good action, you have to sell right away. There's a lot of, it's like bad price action. Kelly's playing like from one range to another range, so on the Fibonacci levels, so you can get in and then you can hold something until it hits your stop. So sometimes if it's choppy, the price action isn't good, your stock still might get there. So it can do better in a choppy market. Yeah, and he's definitely wrong on some. And if you want to learn to play the C strategies and wait, JBiz, I don't know if you're Bizzle. I don't know if you're in our Discord, but the link's in the video description. You can join and kind of learn how to play them and all that kind of stuff with us. But having conviction on your trades and knowing what you're looking for and trying to take in them, it takes a different mindset than what C strategies take. Then those quick scalps, those 1 second, 5 second, 10 second, 30-second trades, it takes a different mindset, and you have to accept that if you want to do this. And if you don't want to do this, just be like, yo, I don't care. Like, I ain't doing this. I'm happy with my 10, 15, I'm happy with my C strategies, and the only thing there is you just have to be happy when they're not working as well. And you can't be like, I'm gonna get it back. You're like, hey, it didn't work today, down $5,000, I'm done, bye guys, like, I'll get it next time. And if you can do that and you have that discipline, I think you're okay, and I think you'll be just fine. And I don't think there's gonna be any problem. But if you do want to grow, and if you do have a hard time doing that, taking the bigger market picture in is just going to be key. It's going to be really good for you. It's going to actually help you grow and expand. But as you're doing that, change your mindset. Don't come in expecting the same thing or the same instant results or the same money. Learn what it actually takes to trade the trade with small size and then sizing up. Understand what's happening. Understand what you're looking for. You should be looking at a name and be like, that's it. Like, I see that. Okay, I'm taking that strategy, or this is the strategy. Okay, and then somebody else calls out that you're in it, and you're like, yo, I was looking at the same thing, and he's looking at the same thing. It's like when CT watched some of the trade review shows. He's like, yeah, dude, you're like trading the exact same. Like, we're entering at the same time and losing at the same time. It's the reason, like, if Mitchell, myself, and Rose, CT, if we were all talking, and we were all like, if you watched our legitimate trades, like if we were all live streaming and Tesla or some of these names were breaking out, $50 says we all have a pretty similar entry points on a lot of them. Like, we probably are trading the same. We're probably entering even stuff that we're not calling out and all this other stuff. We're doing a lot of the same things because we trade the same, because we see the market similar. And there are definitely differences. 1 second. So, yes, we're gonna have callouts. So I'll get to that in just a second. So, and that's gonna give you that confidence that you know what you're looking at, and just practicing seeing things and practicing spotting things, asking questions of people who are willing to answer them and to kind of help you identify them is gonna be key. To your growth as a trader and to you just being willing to trade and you actually just being willing to learn and to get better at this. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm going to try to grow and get better at it. And I'm going to take on more stuff than just the C strategies. I'm still going to do all of those. The calls are there. Nothing's changing. But as we go on, we do want to grow and we want to be able to do more and we want to be able to spot things that are bigger market picture things. Because once you get to the point where you have that confidence and you're really good with the other stuff, there's nothing wrong with adding some tools or some floors to your home, you know, some extra walls or extra defense or extra stuff. So if, you know, your C strategies are kind of hard and the market's kind of choppy and, you know, you don't have this trend breaking out where just like, okay, things are running up because you had good news, you know, things are running up. Well, when that's not happening and you're in this chop, well, how do I trade this? What am I looking for? How do I do this? That's what, you know, we're trying to kind of get better at and do more of. And because of that, you know, you have to change your mindset to those plays and to what you're looking for when you're sitting around midday, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're really prone to getting wrecked. Yeah, I know, Con. I really wish I wasn't busy with other stuff after that news. Like, you had the, it was just so beautiful, and I missed the whole stinking thing, which is okay. I'm not actually that mad about it because I'll get another one. But yeah, from when it, like, that news came out, I have to look at my phone because I know it was like right on my phone. But when this happened, I think it was like you just had this, and it was just this one pullback here, and then yeah, it was just money. Beautiful plays. We are going to be doing some. We are going to be doing some stuff with Kelly callouts with those strategies. Actually, I'm gonna be creating, and kind of said this at the beginning, but I'm gonna be creating another chat or post specifically for Kelly calls during the day or for post, and setting up on something. And and I think Lance is going to be a part of it, and there might be some other people. And it's not separate from what we're doing, and like the voice channel wise and all that. And I'll still call stuff out. Like, I'll call Kelly strategies out on the mic, and I think other people can do that too. We're getting there because we actually want to. I want to be good at doing it before I just call things out. I want to actually be able to tell, like, say things with confidence as opposed to, well, this is here. Like, I want to be able to be like, hey, I'm looking at this level. And as soon as that happens, I'll be doing it a lot more on the mic. And then I might throw up a different chat that allows people who are, you know, who are watching names or something just to throw it in. And they could do it in the main. And this is one of the things, like the different chat channels and Discord. We're not sure, and we haven't talked about it yet, just because I've been incredibly busy, how we want to do it, if we do want to have one for something like that so it doesn't clog up the other chat. And obviously you can just look back and forth. If you see like messages going off in the other one, you can, you know, just look at it. Or if we want to tell people, just post it in the main trading chat. So it's one of those things that we just kind of have to talk through, but we are going to get more mic call outs for those strategies, especially as we get good at them. And then we'll probably throw up a chat that allows, that's just focused on those, per the Kelly video I did last Sunday, per those kind of strategies, the fib level retracements, and like, hey, this name is here at this level, and you can post a picture of the chart and say, I'm looking for this. And you can kind of do stuff like that, and we are going to open that up. It just hasn't been done yet, and it's just because I'm swamped. As soon as I get this house sold, which I'm under contract now, and as soon as the other one gets done, we'll do that, and maybe I'll do it sooner. So if y'all have any thoughts on that, you can message me in Discord, and we can kind of, you know, go over it. We don't want to create 50 different things in here, but we do want people to be able to kind of, you know, do what they want to do and see things. And if you're mainly just looking at that kind of stuff and you want to be able to post the charts, and that's why we have this chart channel here. If you can see this, I'll move my head out of the way. We have this chart room, and the reason we have this is for people to actually post stuff like that. Because if in the middle of the day there's like 20 charts in the middle of here and people are chatting about something else, it just clogs it up, and it's just like picture, 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 which is fine after hours and stuff. But during the day, when there's 20 pictures and 50 charts in there that no one knows what they're looking at, but if you have a chart like here that's like, charts or Kelly charts or something like that, during the day, you can just, people can be in here, and that these like light up, that these will actually light up when someone posts. So if you're in trading chat and you see this turn a different color, or you can set notifications on, you can do all kinds of stuff. What up, Graph? You can know when people are posting charts. So then people can say, watching this break of this level type thing, and it allows guys who don't have mic access to do that. And then if enough people are doing it and want to do that, and there's people that in the middle of the day mainly focus on that, we can even give different people voice access and channel access to kind of talk through those kind of strategies if I'm not on or Rose isn't on and other stuff like that. So we do want to do that, and that's kind of part of the growth of what we're going to do in this channel and this Discord, both on YouTube and in the Discord. Discord being where we mainly operate, other than the Newsbeat VTF. We hope to use this and to be able to develop it into something that everybody. The link is in the description of this video, Rebecca. Link is in the description of the video. And if it's not, just comment and I'll throw a link in. If that link doesn't work, drop a comment and I will let you know. What up, Martin? So that's kind of what we're going to be doing, and why I want to talk a little bit about growth. It's not just growth of us within the C strategies and just getting better at them. It's us growing overall and having the right mindset going into the middle of the day and going into days when it's more choppy. Hey, if it's choppy and I'm not looking for something, okay, I'm not looking for every 1 minute break. I'm looking for this to happen. I have a goal in mind. I'm that hunter. I'm stalking my prey. I'm looking for my trade I want to take. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, Geronimo's saying this, Gator's saying this, these people are saying this. Okay, what am I looking for? How can I use what they're saying? Oh, I like this 200 here. I like this short here. Oh, it's breaking through this level. That means I like it long. And know what you're looking for and look for it. And you have to know, like someone said earlier, the difference in trading the quick C strategies and the longer hold names, and the stuff that's like a range play where you're letting the trade play out and the trade develop, and you might have a stop loss and you got to give it a little bit of room. How do you need to trade those things differently? What do you need to do? For me right now, it's waiting for the trade to go against the person who called it out. And as mean as that sounds, unless there's like unless there's a violent move that happens, what I'm looking for is for the trade to like get back up, and then I catch the next breakdown. Or I'm buying it up at the top of something and I create my own level that I'm looking for. And then I'm never holding something red. I don't like holding red trades. And I don't like being tempted to sell or being like, man, or taking the wrong size or anything like that. So I just kind of wait. No, I don't keep it there all day for that one in Tesla. I mean, I might have today because I got off or something. So if this would have broken down, it would have just been it would have been bearish to me because it would have broke VWAP and all that. So I think the chart would have looked different if that would have broken down. Like when this happened, I only kept this on my chart here, and then I took it off, and then I would come back to the chart later in the day and maybe redraw something like that. So like this would be the first. Oh, sorry, my face is in the way. Sorry. So here's what I do here, and I'm not an expert trend line drawer. Maybe I should have Geronimo on to talk trend lines. Actually, I think I will. That might, maybe if he can come on the next show, or a show sometime, and we can talk trend lines. But so this was the first one I drew, and then once this one's done, I might leave it But once it breaks and it's done, I pretty much just leave it alone. I probably don't leave it unless it's actually doing something. I don't leave it, and then I would just come back and I'd probably draw that one. Like after it popped and went through the 200, I'd draw that one and I'd leave it, and then it comes down, and I don't know that I would do anything else with it. I can't say that I'm an expert on some of these things, and it's more of an early thing, early morning thing, than it is something I do throughout the day. I'm still trying to get better at drawing some of these kind of trend lines and stuff, you know. It's like that. I guess you could draw that channel or something like that, you know. Like I was just at the top of that channel is when like, oh, it broke down to the bottom of it. I mean, you know, this is something I want to have Geronimo on and kind of talk about. Some people that have done a lot more of these than me, so this is still something I'm experimenting with. I'm really trying to get good at it and use it. I know when I see something like this in the morning, I almost always throw a trend line up on the 2 minute, like a lower high, and it pops up and it comes back down. And when I see it kind of coming back down, I just throw one up, and then so it's on my charts. And then if it hits it and pops, and then especially if I see someone else say they're in it, it doesn't mean I get in it there, but I kind of watch it, and I'm just trying to learn how to play them. And adjusting my mindset to that like longer hold or that longer play, or what's happening here in the market overall. What am I looking for? What am I trying to get? You know, and it's not about the money. It's not about doubling or tripling my account. It's about finding good trades and smart trades. And that's really what I'm focused on as much as I can. And I'll try to call out some of the stuff on the mic and maybe talk through it in the afternoon if you guys want, when no one else is on, when there's not much going on. There's sometimes there's nothing and I'm just not looking for it, and I don't like to talk just to talk, even though I do this show to talk, but I have something I'm trying to say here. As opposed to in the middle of the day, it's like I'm like writing an email to somebody, I'm adjusting this, that, and the other, I'm doing all this other stuff, and I'm not necessarily messing around with charts all day or with even trading. And then I just wait, and if I see something happening or people talking about something, I'll hop back on and look. But generally, once I don't like a trend line, I just remove it and I'll look to redraw something else. Y'all got thoughts or questions? But I do, and when I say that, you know, if y'all got any thoughts or questions, throw them out there. But I do want to keep that, and I want to encourage you guys that if you want to do more than the C strategies, you're not right or wrong for doing that. Keep your foundation, keep what you know to do, you know how to do, but there's nothing wrong with adapting, and there's nothing wrong with growing, and there's nothing wrong with trying to, as you're mentally able, adding on little things to your repertoire and to what you can do. It gives you more confidence if like you're not trading good, or or something's not working, or you know it's just choppy price action. You can just be like, hey, just gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna try to get it all back in one trade later, but I know I can sit through the day and I can, you know, catch 4 or 5 really good trades and get a couple points on those trades if I wait, if I enter right, and I'm gonna find good trades later. And then you can just sit there and you're not tempted to trade that heavy. Like I barely traded early today, and you can sit there and just, you know, barely trade, and you can wait for stuff to happen, wait for it to develop, and then okay, here we go. Now I'm kind of getting into it. Here's a trade I'm looking for. Oh, some news happened. Okay, now we have a trend. I'm going back to C strategies. I'm just going to aggressively play this. Okay, click, 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 click. You know, okay, all right. We're slowing down. Hey, we hit this range. We might chop around a little bit. Let's wait, and let's wait for a pattern to develop. Let's wait for a breakdown. Let's wait for a 15-minute sell setup. You know, and you're just shifting your mind throughout the day, and you're not forcing yourself to stick within the box of just, you know, just C strategies or just this other stuff. And if you can slowly over time develop your mental strength and remove toxicity, I think this can be a very strong tool, and that's why I'm starting to implement these longer time frame holds and stuff, using stochastics, using these different methods to give myself confidence to take these trades and hold them, so I can develop myself as a trader to where, for whatever reason, I'm just not trading those short trades as easy, and I'm slow or I'm tired that day and I'm entering bad. You know what? I just can't seem to get this right. I'm just going to wait for a 15-minute sell setup. I'm going to wait for a range play. I'm going to wait for a pullback to the 21. I'm just going to take a Kelly strategy, half size. I'm going to let it play out with a hard stop. And you can adjust based on how you're feeling, and I think that will give you overall confidence. But as you're learning, you need to go into it with the right mindset and with a non-toxic mindset, and understand the differences in what you're trying to do here and what you're looking for and what the reward will be for your trading. Yeah, send it, Graph. What's your question? The original one, so this one here. So you shorted the break of this trend line? And then this? I mean, honestly, that's honestly what I would do. It would be, I would probably short this 2-minute breakdown here, because you had a broken trend line and then a candle that closed below it. So I'd probably short. You pop back up and hit it and failed. I would probably short in here somewhere. Which is usually how I do trend lines and stuff. It's like if a level breaks and then it closes below, it's like if the 200 busts out like it does here, like you long this candle in Tesla. Like this broke out, you could have taken a long here maybe. Here when it breaks out with this vigor, you could take a long, if I have a trend line that comes up above it and it goes down to retest it and then breaks out, you could long that. If it breaks down below it and closes below it and then gets another candle, you short it if that trend line's good. That's kind of what I sometimes will try to do. It doesn't always work. It just kind of depends. The 2 and the 21. What do you mean, Sharps? Or am I missing something? Okay. Well, Jefferson, I'll start doing that more when I'm here midday. And I haven't been on the mic as much, guys, because I just haven't been here. I'm running left and right to get stuff done, like nonstop. It's a headache. Very stressful. I'm not even in a mindset where I'm taking a lot of full size right now. I'm just mentally not there to trade aggressively. And I know that, and I've addressed that with myself, and I'm just not there right now, and it's okay. I'm just going to try to make smart trades and let the trades come, and, I just can't sit here all day. But as soon as I am back to it, which I hope to be soon, dude, I'll be on the mic a lot, as much as I can in the afternoons, and kind of talk through it and give my thoughts on stuff, and just kind of, as long as you guys interact in Discord, and I don't sound like I'm talking to myself, like, I'd be glad to talk more. If it's just me talking to myself, eventually I can just turn the mic off and do that. And sharps and flats, I'm not really sure. The 220 look good, but didn't work. Like, I'm not sure what didn't work. Oh, yeah, sloping down. Yes, you are correct. And that's part of, yeah, I looked at the same thing. I was watching Tesla short, and it didn't work. And you know what happened when that didn't work for me? I mean, I wasn't in it here. I was like in it, I don't remember. I think I did a one and done short and like just took a quick scalp, and I didn't like the price action, so I left it alone. But you know what I'm doing when I see that? I'm just like, okay, I'm done. And I don't try to see strategy the name anymore. It's like once you kind of get that, this just isn't working, and you start doing it, and you're just like, it's not really there. Or even Kelly's thing, it's just like, it didn't work. It's like it didn't break down. It's not like, oh no, it's going. It's just like, okay, didn't work. And honestly, now that I'm looking at it, this isn't really very compressed. This is the simple 200 moving average. And let me go to my 2-minute chart because it's cleaner. Let me look at this. This isn't really that compressed. And I have a feeling Kelly's going to say that. So if you look at this per Kelly's strategy, if you go back and watch my video I did with Kelly, look at this. This is not a compressed 21 and 200. Tesla is opening up down here, and if you take this and you're looking at that, I guess it'd be here. There's some range in between here. It's close to the 21, but there's still some separation here. Here's where it's close. So here you're separated and you're still coming in. Here is where things are close. Here's your 221. They cross. Now they go up. So this is still in a state of like mid-range. And then I'll answer your question. So this is still in that kind of extended. This isn't right on top of each other. This is extended at the open. Like it might be hard to see when you're opening, but I mean the bottom of this candle is 85 and the 200 is 827. So 786 and 826. You're looking at like 828 to the bottom of this candle is 786. So there's a big price gap in here between the 200. I liked it short because of the A plus trigger. I would have liked it long. I'm sorry, I would have liked it short more if this 200 was here. Like if this looked like this at the open, see how it looks here? This would have been a short for me. If the open, and I still tried it short at the open because of the A plus trigger to the short side, but if this is what it looked like at the open when it was this close, and then you had this like move down, that would have been your compression. Here, like, yeah, it's there, but you're still extended. If you go back and watch the video when someone asks about Tuesday's trade and like Tuesday's chart, and then we go back and look at Tuesday's chart, it looks like this. You had this kind of separation and equal distance in all of these, the price of the stock, the 21 and the 200. So it was very extended here. And then it comes back, what am I doing? It comes back and it actually goes to the, as Kelly says it does, is going to come back. Okay, now the 21 and the 200, this is when you should be looking at Tesla, is right around here. Look, they're right on top of each other. Now is where you get your trade. So if it looked like this, I would be good. Now tomorrow, look at this. Depending on where it opens, this could be a lot closer. Like you have the 200 and the 21 getting close to each other here. So tomorrow morning, depending on where Tesla opens, we could actually see some good compression. Oh, you're saying keep away, Sharp. So I misunderstood what you're saying. I'm sorry. I misread you entirely. Yes, because of the gap here, this was not a good short in the morning. Because of the gap, this was not a good short. So if you got caught short in this, you had S1 here, all this, like, and this is extended. This is not close. So yes, you are correct. I apologize. I read you wrong. I read what you wrote wrong. I did. I wasn't, I wasn't very overly bullish in the name. And then, like, you could do that. You could see this extended here, and then you're like, okay, well, we have this lower pivot. All right, here we go. And now it hit that trend line. And then this is when Kelly entered. Kelly entered right here. I actually entered down here on the next candle when it retested that line and then took some of that trade. All right, so graph. I feel like you feel like you're taking more trades and focusing on trades with one contract to try to hit a certain dollar amount that I could hit with one or two good trades if it was done with more size. And you're caught up wondering if it's better to just take high conviction trades with 2 to 4 contracts to try to catch 50 cents to a point instead of just trying to have 4 successful one contract trades. Yeah, it makes sense entirely. I agree. So can I say this two-part answer? First, the only time I size down is when I'm just trading to trade and I'm trying to find something and I'm trying to catch a trend and learn how, like, generally speaking, I have my average size that I trade at and I keep it there. I'm not sizing down or sizing up. I'm just kind of trading 10 contracts today. I'm just trading 10 contracts unless something changes. So I size down, like you're saying. It would be better not to trade, and I think this is what you're saying. Like, I would rather just sit there and wait for high conviction trades and trade with more size than trade a bunch of no conviction trades with one contract. Correct. That is what I would do. I would much rather do that, and that is what I try to do. Yes, to answer your question, I don't take more trades with less size. I size down if I'm just trading a lot, if things aren't good and I'm making some good money, but we're kind of hitting a level when it's kind of getting risky and I'm taking 30 Tesla contracts and we're nearing S1. I'm going to take 5 contracts right now, guys. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, it's like I was like, there might be a play here, but I kind of don't like it. I'm going to leave it alone. It could work, it could not work. Generally speaking, if you ask me what was the best, I would sit back and wait. Like if I had a small account, I wouldn't be jumping in every trade. I would be sitting back. I would be taking more contract size in a few like good trades. Like I would rather, if I could have 10 trades with really small size or 5 trades with higher size or even 4 trades, I would rather trade 4 trades and just wait for high conviction trades or something I knew I can make money in than kind of just scalping around. I scalp around because I have an unlimited amount of, in a sense, if I'm not red or whatever, funds to sit there and kind of try to see, is this working? Am I getting good price improvement? I'm making really good money, but now I'm kind of locking it in, so I'm sizing down, but I'm still trading because this is my job. But yeah, I agree with you. Stop forcing the trades. I think you're right. You would be better to not force the trades with smaller contracts and just be like, I don't like this, I don't like this. And then when the good ones come, you're like, okay, I like this trade, I like this. But I don't really change contract size. And the reason I don't change my contract sizes during the day is because when you're changing contract size, it's another decision for your OODA loop process. So I'm generally just trading, hypothetically, 10 contracts, and I'm just trading 10 contracts all day. I'm not sizing up or sizing down unless I'm hitting a support level or I'm scared we're going to reverse or there's a reason to do it, Generally, I'm just trading 10 contracts, and that's just what I'm doing. And you should trade what you're comfortable with doing. And I'm generally not necessarily trying to catch a certain cent or point or dollar on a trade. I'm just trying to make the trade. And sometimes it's 20 cents and sometimes it's, $1 or $2. I'm not really thinking about I'm trying to catch 5 points here, 6 points here. I'm just, here's a trade. I'm in, and I definitely would say that I think it's best to be consistent with your size, something that you're comfortable with. And the only time my size changes is if I'm near a certain level or it's the middle of the day and the ATR is going down. So if I'm still trying to find a way to trade and make money in Tesla at noon or 2 o'clock or 1:30, I'm not going to sit there with 10 to 30 contracts in a name that the ATR was $5 in the morning and I was trading it with 20 contracts, and now it's 150 and I'm still trading it with 30 contracts. It's like that's a recipe to get aggressively destroyed. The way to do it would be at that point to size down. That's the only time I size down. It's like the name has changed. So now I'm going to size down. I'm going to let the move happen. And I'm going to trade it a little bit differently. I might trade a range in Tesla, instead of just quick scalping. If I'm going to quick scalp, I'm going to size down. So I hope that answers your question. I know you said exactly, so I hope that kind of answers your question. Yeah, that's true, JD. That is completely true. You definitely got to be prepared if you're going to size up. Unless you're used to taking those contracts, you got to be prepared for bigger red. And that's the dangerous thing, is that sizing up, you could lose more. You're welcome. If you just go from 10 to 30, you're not going to be able to handle it right away, unless you're, I don't know, just somebody who can. Because it's just going to be a shock to your system. It's just going to be a very shock to your system. Instead, you should trade what you're comfortable with and average kind of up slowly so you can get comfortable, because those red trades will really blow you out really quick. Yeah, Graph, I'm sorry you did. Yeah. Don't overtrade. Even with one contract, you can blow out quickly. Like, I can lose $5,000 with one contract throughout the day if I sit there and don't trade it right. Like, you do have to be careful. I mean, I don't bet small. Like when I trade my Qs, plays, and stuff, I'm not small. I'm usually 100 contracts when I'm doing names like that. Sometimes 50, sometimes 30, but you know, I'm definitely not a small when it comes to stuff, but bet intelligently and what you can handle. You know, it's a trade, and the size is part of the trade, so just be comfortable with what you're doing. You know, I'm not saying try to smack home runs and try to do stuff, but just be intelligent with what you're doing. Nope, I cannot take sus setups when I do that. I take good entries that I see for myself, and I usually then get conviction from other people calling stuff out. Yeah, I don't. If you do have a small account, I mean, I will be small account trading soon. Like I said, I'll do that challenge pretty soon. And soon being relative when I get out from the pressure of having to sell this house and buy a new house and having 2 mortgages at once and all this other stuff. As soon as all that's done, I'm going to jump into the small account challenge. Yeah, I do options, Jefferson. I just go like out of the money or in the money just a little bit, and I go like, you know, it just depends on your entry. But if you're willing to lose 2 or 3 grand in a Tesla trade, you know, and you can take 50 options of the Qs, you know, how much does it have to drop for you to lose, you know, 2 or 3 grand, like 50 or 60 cents? You know, so if you're depending on your entry and your stops and all this other kind of stuff and the trend and where you're all that, you know, you're not risking more. And the contract size is more, but like your risk isn't more. It's not like I'm trading, you know, it's not like the Qs move $1 at a time most of the time. So, but there's a way to trade those. And usually if I do that, I take profit. So it's like I'm in 100 of them and then I sell 50 of them. And then I have a little bit more room and I'm relaxed and I just sit there and hold it and wait for it to get to the level. There's just different variables, and I can talk about that in the future. No, I didn't. Sorry. I mean, I watch it, like, but I'm not like aggressively sitting here with my hand on the mouse, like getting ready to click. I'm kind of just there. I'm watching it. It depends on how green I am or how red I am or where we're at the level, but I'm kind of in it, and you know, I'm kind of in it and I'm just here. I could be having another screen up. I've got my little thing here. I can jump over and sell. But, you know, I'm not even necessarily hand on the mouse unless I'm like at the level where I want to sell or something like that. I could be looking at other charts. I could be typing in chat. I could be doing whatever else. So I'm not like hard watching the level too. But that depends on my entry. It depends on my name. It depends on the size, you know, and where that trade is at. I'm always ready to get out of it, but I'm not like that ready to get out of it. Like if something happens, you know, if I get that drop that made me lose this, you know, that trade that I showed y'all the other day, the 17-point loss, I'm going to get hurt. But that just never, almost never happens that quickly. And when it does, you know, it's just part of the game, and I'm okay with it. I try not to take a size. If I'm going to take my hand off and sit here and be like, you know, play with my kids or something, not play with them like leave the computer, but kind of talk to them and type in chat while I'm in a trade, I'm not taking size to where it can hurt me if it drops 10 points in my face. So I size accordingly. But I'm not strictly watching the level 2 the whole time. In a Kelly trade, I let the trade play out. I'm relaxed. I sit back. You know, it's like you said, just sit there and drink a cup of coffee. Just got my, like, you know, cup of coffee from Nashville, and I went to Tennessee, Moonshine Distillery. I think this was Old Smoky. Yeah, Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine. Just sit there, cup of coffee, watch the trade happen, relax, try a different mindset of trading if I'm having a hard time trade C strategies, or it's later in the afternoon and I'm sitting here and I've got emails to write or different things to do. I can do those things and let a strategy play out. I can see what's happening. I can see my charts. I'm doing my other stuff, and then it's like, oh, something's happening. I'm out. I'm in, you know. So, yeah, nothing wrong with 30 to 50% per trade. It's up to you. Hurt? I mean, I don't know. Depends on the day. Usually 5 figures hurts. I mean, 5 grand hurts. I don't like being down more than 5 grand on a day. That's kind of like a loose stop for me. Like if I'm down that, I change what I'm doing. Like everything's like super. I don't do really percentages. Like generally speaking, I just try to keep my red days less than 5 grand. I just try to stay consistent with that because I know I can make that back on any day, and that's just a number. It's like, you know, once you get in the 10 grand, you're like, man, that's a day or 2 or 3 of trading if the market's hard. But if it's like, man, if it's 5 grand, it's like that's a day or two. It's like, yeah, I could, you know, do 2 grand and then, you know, have a good 2,500 or whatever day, and you're back. You know, you're kind of good. So I try to keep my red days there. What up, JR? The man, the myth, the legend. You're hopping at the end just to be like, yo, guys, screw Gator, and then leave. Cheers, brother. Some tea before bedtime. Or whiskey. No one knows. I love you, brother. You're the man. Cheers. I gotta talk trend lines with you sometime. Gotta have you on to talk trend lines. Like talked about this one a little bit that I drew and some other ones, and I'm still learning to draw them. Unless you are doing a class on them or something like that at some point, definitely gotta talk trend lines. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Blademan. There's nothing wrong with percentages. I'm not against anything. Like you guys, you shouldn't take anything I say as like Bible or word or gospel. Um, ah, you really shouldn't. Like you could do percentages if it works for you. You could do a dollar amount if it works for you. You know, you could do like, hey, when I get to day highs or when I get to a certain number on my day, I'm only giving 20% back or 10% back. It's all about, it's literally all about what you want and what works for you. That's why we're talking, you know, growth and mindset and all this other type of stuff. It is all about what works for you. What do you mean, TL? And that's part of growing. It's just finding things that work for you, adapting them, and using them to grow your skill and to become a better trader. I'm all about that. So we're going to continue to do that here. And I will create the, like, Geronimo Kelly. I don't know what to call it yet, but the longer term trades. I got to think of, since where the theme is like the bandits, I have to think of something bandit related that's like a long-term hold up or stick up. Maybe we could call it a stick up because it's not like a quick robbery, a longer robbery. So the stick up room where you post like longer trades, like the actual like 15-minute sell setups, or, you know, Geronimo Q trades, Kelly trades, stuff like that aren't necessarily those quick C strategies, so people can learn to identify them in the charts, and people can like look back at those charts and be like, oh, this was the setup and stuff like that. So when we hear these names being called or we hear this, we can take note of it, we can look at it, you can go back, or if somebody else is doing a trade like that, they can learn why something did work, or why money bags. There you go. Yes, the diamond hand money bags. It is. A congregation of gators. I love it. We have a book that's called A Curious Menagerie, and it goes through, it's a kid's book, and it goes through all the different um, things, names of different animals, like a parliament of owls. A group of owls is called a parliament. And it's like, I wonder what you know, what was it? A mischief of mice. You know, what is a bunch of mice? A bunch of mice is a mischief of mice. What are some other ones? I don't remember. I've read it a couple of times though. Long Haul. Yeah, I like that, Rich. I love that book though. I read it to my kids. I'm like, I'm gonna start using these words, these old English terms for groups of these animals. I do like that though. A congregation. This is my church. This is church. Y'all come to church. That's what it is. That's gonna be my entrance now. It's like, yo, welcome to the swamp. You gonna get churched. Welcome to the congregation. Yeah, a murder of crows. It is. That's another one, Sharps. It was like, what is a group of crows? A group of crows is called a murder. It's like, can I get an amen? I'll go old Southern Baptist preacher on you guys. Gator 316 instead of Austin 316. Be like, that's Gator 316 right there, bruh. I'll totally. Yeah, see, y'all don't believe me, or you might believe me, but I'll totally take some of this that we're saying right now and run with it. You're all like, he's not going to do that. I will totally take that and run with it. Hey, if you didn't learn anything about trading, you probably learned different names for those animals. I'll bring that book. I'll bring that, the book down here and I'll just read it to you guys. Money bag. So yeah, we'll be creating that room, and maybe I'll do it this week, or that knockoff, or that other chat over in Discord. Oh, nice. Okay, Rich. So I got someone to help with design. I'll have to talk to you about advertising and stuff. So we'll get an ad creative director on board to help us push the channel and to help us get stuff going here. And then someone to do the design stuff. There we go. You know, we're getting somewhere. We're going to go somewhere. Use the people's talents. That's pretty cool, though. I do not have the creative. I don't think I have the creative ability. My brothers always did, a lot more than I did. I could see things, I could do certain things, but I didn't have like the creative mindset of being able to take something and like create something new. It's like I had one or two things that I like, and I just create that. But it's like you create characters in video games, dude. It takes me like 10 hours to create video games. Like you're playing like XCOM 2 or something, and you're just trying to do something and create a character and the backstory. I'm like, I can't write a backstory. I like play Stellaris, and I'm trying to create, these, aliens that do whatever. It's like, I don't know what backstory I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know what backstory I'm gonna do for these aliens or what I want them to do. I gotta go watch a YouTube video on what somebody else did. Where I'm just like, I'm gonna create Lord of the Rings characters, or this is gonna be a Game of Thrones. I just take something I know and modify it. Not great at that. Yeah, we got off topic. We're talking about generally other stuff. Yeah, violence of action, dude. Violence of action. Oh, I do actually have a trade I wanted to I'll show it tomorrow. I do have a trade I wanted to show. It's how to get into a violent moving candle and what that looks like. I got into that Tesla one at the end of the day, and I wanted to show that. I did not know that. Yeah, I play strategy games. That's like the only games I play. I don't have time. I play Assassin's Creed sometimes, but yeah, I don't have time to play too many of them. I did not know he was a ward. I'm going to hit him up. I had no idea. Dude, there's so many great people that we trade with, guys. Like, y'all don't even know. I don't even know. Like, there are so many crazy, incredible people. And that's really the value of trading with you guys and being in Discord and being on YouTube and this. It's the room is full of people that are better than me. Like, I might be on the mic and might have like that type of confidence or whatever to do that. But man, I ain't better than nobody else in here. Like, there's some incredible people in here with some incredible mind power. And just being with you guys and around you guys makes me better. And that really helps, me get better as a trader. I love talking to guys and hearing different perspectives and learning and growing. And if you take stuff in and you act on it. See, I think that's one of the things that Kelly said towards the end, the military and how it helps us. I'm very good at, if I have a plan of action, rules of engagement, ROE, I can hit that without even thinking. So it's like if you give me what in Mark 1 is, and it's like, do this, and you give me the parameters, like, okay, I'm going. And I don't even think about it. I can just do it. You know, if you give me the opposite, if you give me, you know, like what Kelly's strategy is, as soon as I see it, it's like, oh, this is a strategy. Okay, I'm in. Boom. I'm not selling until it breaks that level. And it's just that, it's just like, I can just hit that if I know it and if I trust it, the person giving it to me. So when I see stuff from you guys and it's like, okay, this is good. All right, I got this. And I start practicing it, seeing if it applies, if I can use it. And if I can, it's like, okay, boom, I got you. If it doesn't, then I don't. I'm like, hey, it's just not for me. But yeah, I can take stuff and just go with it. I guess that's a strength. It also allows me to get wrecked, but it works. I'm usually just looking at, so if it's going into it or away from it, Jeff. If it's going into the level, I'm just watching the ask. I'm just watching the ask, and it's like as the ask ticks up, I buy it. I usually, if you guys hear me trade, usually what I do is, let's zoom in. So here's how I will trade this. Let's say that I wanted to short Tesla off of this. And let's say I shorted it here and then I sold and I got stopped out. What I would be saying in my head, which is what I say on the mic, is like, okay, this candle is green. I'm like, okay, let's see if it retests. Hey, it didn't retest that level. It started ticking down. I'm looking to get in. Let's see what happens. It dropped down. It popped back up. So I like kind of create imaginary like numbers in my head. So this candle would, let's say this candle's, you know, this candle's low was like, I don't know, 36.72, or this candle's low was 36.30. I'd be like, okay, this candle's, let's pretend this candle's higher. And I'd be like, okay, this candle's now like 38, like it was all the way down. You know, let's say it was down here. I don't know what this candle did, and it popped back up, and now it's at like right up in here around that 38 level. And if you see over here on the right, you'll see the price moving. So it's like, oh, it's going down to 37. It's going down 37.50. Oh, it popped back up. It's like back at 38. All right, it failed that 38 level again. I'm gonna buy it if it goes, you know, if it goes down through 750. All right, it's down through 750. All right, I'm in. And I'm just going to hold it. Oh, it's popping around. It's fine. I'm just going to hold it till about 750 or so. And it goes down. All right, this candle's open. I am going to hold it. It drops down. All right, I'm out. And then how I would trade this next candle, it's like, okay, I'm looking to get I'm looking to get back in. Yeah, he just jumped in to say hey and left. JR dropping in like a boss. So how I would trade this candle is like, okay, it's popping back up. I'm looking for it to go short. Hey, look, it popped back up. Oh, it failed the top of this candle, so it didn't break out. This is a 2-minute chart, by the way. So, all right, 96.30. It hit 96.19, so it was like, oh, the candle's going up. Oh, it hit like 96. Oh, or it hit like 96. All right, it started going down. All right, I'm buying. It failed to break out. I'm buying. I'm going short. And then I just like, okay, I'm still in it. I'm still in it. I'm still in it. And, you know, and that's generally how I look to play, and those are things I'm thinking through when I'm trading, is I'm watching price action and I'm watching the ask or the bid depending on the direction. And it's like, oh, it popped up through that whole number. All right, it could be going down. And I kind of talk myself through trades like that. And yeah, Rich Geronimo probably bounced. He could still be here, but... So that's kind of what I look at, what I'm watching when I'm watching the level 2. That's kind of how I talk through myself. It's how I talk on the mic when I'm doing something. And it's like here, you know, let's pretend this was somewhere else, but, you know, I'll say it was like, I don't know, this one or something. Like you're looking for the breakdown. It didn't come. It popped up. It's like, oh, that 2-minute high got taken out. All right, I'm leaving it alone. I'm waiting. I'm not going to trade it. It's like, oh, I wanted it to go short. It didn't. It did it again. Let's see if this 2-minute level fails. So let's say that it went short and then popped up. If this would have failed here and gone back down, I would have shorted it again. It's like, oh, well, it's popped. It broke out from the 2-minute. All right, I'm leaving it alone. I'm not trading it. And so that's how I would trade that. I was like, boom, it popped. All right, I'm done. I'm going to wait for it to hit the 21. If this failed and went short, I would have taken it short. And so that's kind of how I look at stuff like that. Later, Rich. Yeah, brother. Gator 316. Gonna be my next tattoo. I don't have tattoos, but that'll be my tattoo. All right, guys. Hour 25 minutes in. Keep that growth mindset. I'll see y'all. Keep that growth mindset. Keep going into it with the right attitude. Understand the differences in the strategies you're trading and what you're trying to do. And it's not about making money. It's about growing and getting more trades. Take the information that people are putting out there, learn, use it, adapt, and you'll be okay and you'll be able to grow. It's not all about, just, print and chatter. It's about getting comfortable and confident in other things, growing your skill. Growing in your skill in this job. So it is bedtime. It's 11 o'clock. That's way later than my bedtime. So I will catch you guys tomorrow in the market. Let's catch the open. Let's trade smart tomorrow. That's all I got. I'll see you later.